My name is Camila Rivera, and I was 33 the night my fiancé's family decided to measure my love with a signature. It happened just minutes before our rehearsal dinner at an elegant country club outside Sao Paulo. The room was filled with relatives, family, friends, and business associates. Crystal glasses sparkled under the lights. Quiet conversations echoed across the room, and everyone was smiling, everyone except the woman sitting directly across from me. My future mother-in-law reached into her designer handbag, pulled out a thick white envelope, and slid it across the table until it stopped inches from my hands. Then she smiled. "If you really love my son," she said loudly enough for half the room to hear, "sign this." The room fell silent. Inside the envelope was a prenuptial agreement. I looked down at the document without saying a word. Beside me, Raphael, my fiancé, kept his eyes fixed on the tablecloth. He didn't stop her, he didn't even look at me. His sister leaned toward their father and whispered, just loud enough for me to hear, "She'll sign it, she has no choice." They believed they already knew exactly who I was. To them, I was just a woman from a modest neighborhood who had somehow convinced their son to marry her. They thought I needed their family. What none of them knew was that I had spent the last 10 years hiding the most important part of my life. I reached for the pen. Every person at that table leaned forward, certain they were about to watch me surrender. They had no idea that the real story hadn't even begun. I wrapped my fingers around the pen, but instead of signing, I slowly turned to the first page and read every line. The agreement wasn't just a prenup. It said that if our marriage ever ended, I would walk away with nothing, while anything I brought into the marriage could become part of the family's financial protection plan. I felt my heart beat slow. Not because I was afraid, because I finally understood. This had never been about protecting Raphael. It was about protecting whatever they believed they owned. I looked up and met my future mother-in-law's eyes. She was smiling with complete confidence. She thought she had already won. Around us, conversations had stopped. Dozens of guests pretended not to stare, but every face in the room was waiting for my answer. Raphael leaned closer and whispered, "Please, just sign it. It's only a piece of paper. We both know we'll never need it." Only a piece of paper. Those words reminded me of something my grandfather used to say. Whenever people underestimated hard work, paper only has power when you hand it your future. I lowered the pen and smiled. Not because I had decided to sign, but because for the first time that evening, I realized I was the only person at that table who actually knew the truth. And in just a few minutes, everyone else would know it too. I quietly closed their and reached into my handbag. One actually brought a document too. I said I placed my own folder on the table and slid it toward them. "My attorney prepared this weeks ago. It includes a full financial disclosure." As they read the first page, the confidence disappeared from their faces. The woman they believed had nothing owned a successful architecture firm, several commercial properties, and investments worth far more than their family had imagined. The room fell silent. I looked at Raphael. "I wanted a husband," I said softly, "not a family that needed me to prove my worth." I folded their prenup, left it on the table, and stood up. "If love begins with distrust, it isn't the future I'm looking for." Raphael stood and walked after me, leaving his family speechless. 3 months later, we married in a small courthouse ceremony. With a fair prenup we both signed willingly, built on honesty instead of fear. For the first time, I wasn't choosing a family. We were choosing each other.